The sun was barely kissing the Arizona desert when Karen Voss planted herself at my gate like she was storming Normandy, clipboard raised like a holy relic, shrieking, "You're violating every community safety code on the books." Right before the deputy told her to back the hell off my property, or get cuffed for trespassing herself. And the best part? My 10 sun-baked acres had never once been under her precious Saguaro Springs HOA. Not in 1975 when my old man poured the concrete for that pool with his own calloused hands. Not in 2024 when Karen decided the rules applied to anyone she felt like bullying. I'm Jack Harlan. 22 years fixing fighter jets for the Air Force taught me one iron law: respect boundaries or pay the price. When I retired, I came home to the only place that ever felt like mine, the old family spread on the edge of Tucson, where the mornings smell like creosote and freedom instead of HOA fines. Dad built that pool the summer I turned 10, no permits, no permission, just sweat, rebar, and a dream of somewhere his kids could always come home to. I kept it exactly as he left it. Simple blue tiles, hand-laid deck, the kind of private oasis money can't buy and Karen Voss couldn't stand. First time she showed up, she rolled in with her welcome committee, like a pastel-colored SWAT team. 3 of them, smiles sharp enough to cut glass, handing me a glossy binder thicker than a phone book. "Just making sure everything meets community standards," Karen cooed, voice dripping fake honey. I wiped grease off my hands, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "Ma'am, this land was deeded in 1975. Your HOA charter wasn't even a twinkle in the developer's eye. I'm not in your club." Her smile froze like desert frost. "Oh, everyone says that at first. But we all live under the same covenant here. Property values, you know." I laughed low. "Lady, the only covenant I signed was with my father's memory. You want to inspect my pool? Bring a warrant signed by someone who actually matters." They left that day, but the war had started. By week 2 the mailbox became a daily hate machine. Unauthorized water feature. Non-compliant safety fencing. Visual blight on community harmony. Each notice came with a fine that doubled like compound interest from hell. $75, $150, $300. I stacked them on the workbench next to Dad's old tools, and just smiled. Neighbors who used to wave now crossed the street like I had the plague. Karen's silver SUV cruised past slow enough to take pictures, her phone camera glinting like a sniper scope. One Thursday I caught her drone hovering 20 feet above my pool, red light blinking like it was filming evidence for the next Nuremberg. I called the county assessor just to be sure. "Your parcel's unincorporated, Mr. Harlan. Always has been. They've got zero jurisdiction." Still, Karen kept tightening the noose she thought was around my neck. Rumors swirled through the neighborhood Facebook group I wasn't even in. That Harlan guy's hoarding water in a drought. His pool's a safety hazard, kids could drown. One night I sat by the pool with a beer, watching the stars, when I heard the soft whir of rotors again. 2 HOA security guys in reflective vests were at my back fence with bolt cutters. I hit record on the cameras I'd quietly installed weeks earlier. The next Sunday morning the real show began. I was pouring coffee when metal snapped loud enough to wake the dead. I stepped onto the porch and there she was, Karen Voss in broad daylight, bolt cutters in hand, padlock to my pool gate lying in 2 pieces on the gravel. 2 board members filmed on their phones like it was TikTok gold. "Emergency inspection," she announced, chin high. "Multiple complaints about an unsafe, unregulated pool. We're authorized under Article 14, Section 7. I walked down slow, phone already streaming live to my cloud. "Karen, you just committed felony trespass and criminal mischief on camera. That lock cost me $40. Smile, you're about to be internet famous for all the wrong reasons." Her face flushed purple. "You refused every notice. Public safety trumps your little piece of paper." One of her guys muttered, "Karen, maybe we should." "Quiet," she snapped. "He's been thumbing his nose at the community for months." I held up the folder I'd been carrying since the first letter. Funny thing about communities, they usually don't include armed break-ins. I turned to the growing crowd of neighbors pretending to water their lawns. "Y'all watching? This is what happens when one woman decides the rules only apply when she says so." Sirens cut the air. She'd called the cops, again, claiming I was obstructing an official HOA inspection. 2 Pima County deputies rolled up, lights painting the desert in red and blue. Karen launched into her greatest hits. "He's been non-compliant for months. Unsafe pool. Endangering the neighborhood." The older deputy, A guy with 20 years on the badge held up a hand. "Ma'am, step back." I handed him the folder. "Morning, officers. Original deed, 1975. County recorder stamp. Survey map showing this entire parcel sits outside Saguaro Springs boundaries by 412 feet. Never annexed, never signed, never theirs." He flipped pages, eyebrows rising. The younger deputy whistled low. "This says unincorporated county land, ma'am. You got any filed amendment showing otherwise?" Karen's mouth opened, closed, opened again. "Our internal survey updated the boundaries years ago." "Internal," the older deputy repeated, deadpan. "Not filed with the county." "That's cute." He handed the papers back to me. "Ma'am, unless you've got a warrant or written county authorization extending your jurisdiction here, you're the one trespassing. Pack it up." For the first time, Karen Voss looked small. The drone she'd sent buzzing overhead earlier suddenly looked ridiculous, hovering above a scene where she was the villain. But that was only Act 1. 3 days later, the county assessor showed up unannounced with surveyors and a court order. Turns out Karen's precious community center, the converted garage where the board held their Thursday night power meetings and stored all those shiny violation forms, sat smack on a corner of my dad's original 1975 plat. They'd built it 30 years ago on land they never owned, never transferred, never paid taxes on. The audit hit like a desert flash flood. Local news trucks rolled in. Headlines screamed, "HOA built empire on stolen land, county moves to dissolve." Neighbors who'd ghosted me started leaving apologetic casseroles. Karen's silver SUV disappeared behind a for sale sign that went up faster than her fines ever had. Last I heard, the judge barred her from any HOA or civic board for 10 years and froze the association's accounts pending restitution. The community standards she'd weaponized for a decade were now the very rope that hanged her. I stood at the new brass gate I'd installed, engraved with 2 simple words Dad would have loved: private property. The pool shimmered under the Arizona sun exactly the way he left it. No inspections, no clipboards. Just water, sky, and the quiet satisfaction of watching a bully choke on her own rulebook. True or false, in the end, who really abused power? The man quietly protecting his father's legacy, or the self-appointed community leader who turned neighborhood rules into her personal dictatorship? Drop your verdict below. Have you ever been HOA'd into submission, or did you fight back and win? Let me know in the comments.